guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. I hope that you guys are celebrating, whether that is with a partner or with your friends, your loved ones, just taking yourself on a little solo date. I don't know. I hope that it is a good Valentine's Day for you guys. I thought since today is Valentine's Day, in this video I would give you guys some book recommendations based on love songs. I am a big music person. I really love listening to music, and so I picked out 10 different romantic or love related songs that I enjoy, and I'll give you some book recommendations that I think match them. Just a warning, there are some spoilers for these books in this video just because my reasoning kind of has to do with things that happen on their journeys, but I will try to keep the spoilers to a minimum and let you guys be able to enjoy the stories as they go. With that, let's get started. The first song that I have is How Would You Feel by Ed Sheeran. This is basically a love song of somebody at the start of a relationship who is kind of friends maybe, or is hesitant to take the relationship to the next step. And so he's basically asking how would you feel if I told you that I love you? He's being very cautious about it, and very hesitant about sharing his feelings. My first instinct for this was to go with a friends to lovers type story, but I actually think Sam's Letters to Jennifer by James Patterson works even better. So if you've never heard of Sam's Letters to Jennifer, this is the only book that I don't have in my apartment right now. I think I brought it back to my parents' house, so I don't have it with me. But Sam's Letters to Jennifer is about this woman who goes back to her grandma's lake house because I think something happened and her grandma is in the hospital. While she's at the lake house, she finds a pile of letters that her grandmother has written to her, and it's basically detailing the grandmother's life and about a hidden love story that Jennifer did not know. In Sam's Letters to Jennifer, we're following two simultaneous stories. One focuses on Jennifer and her time, her plot, her relationship, and we're getting Sam's journey and her relationship and life's story through these letters. And you're seeing the development of two relationships progress simultaneously. Both Jennifer and Sam were previously married. I believe Sam is a widow, and I think Jennifer is a widow as well. I am not 100% sure about that, but I think Jennifer is also a widow. I thought that How Would You Feel would really represent the guys' point of views in these relationships, because they both see what Sam and Jennifer have been going through. They see what they have dealt with in their lives, and they're both very hesitant and very cautious about stepping into a relationship with them and are worried if these women are ready to be in a relationship, want to be in a relationship. Both of these guys know that they care a lot about their respective women, but they don't know if a relationship is the right path. There are also lines in the song How Would You Feel that says something about feeling younger, how they're taking my time with you, stealing kisses, and all of this feels very reminiscent of young love, puppy love, high school love, that kind of innocent type of love. And reading especially about Sam's relationship gives me those same vibes. Despite them being older, reading Sam's relationship felt like watching older people fall into that young puppy love from our youth, from our childhoods. If you're looking for something more mature, more respectful, but with that youthful energy, I think Sam's Letters to Jennifer is a great romance pick. The next song is Until I Found You by Stephen Sanchez. Until I Found You feels like a song about a lost love. It talks a lot about how all he wants is to hold this girl in his arms, how he'll never love anybody the way that he did. He would never fall in love again until he found her, until he found the one. I think the song could be read in two different ways, whether that's finding the same girl again or until he finds the one, as in a different girl. He was expecting it to be somebody, but it's actually someone else. But I was personally reading this as him finding his lost love, him falling in love with a girl, letting her go, and he's never going to fall in love again until he finds her and gets to be with her again. Based off of that interpretation, I suggest Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, Maybe in Another Life is probably my favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid book in her contemporary romances. This follows a dual timeline, not a dual timeline, this follows split universes, where in one universe, she goes home from the bar with her high school ex-boyfriend, and in another universe, she goes home from the bar with her best friend instead. And both of those kind of show the journey that her life takes and how things change. Oh my god, did I rip it? Stop, I'm so sad. This is one of my favorite ones too. Anyway, at the beginning of the book, Hannah relocates to Los Angeles because she's going through a hard breakup. She's basically having to reset her entire life. So she is in absolutely no mood to get in a relationship, be in a relationship. She's not thinking about any of that, doesn't want that. In the timeline where she leaves the bar with her best friend, things happen and she meets a guy in circumstances where she can't date him. I had a whole list of examples and reasons why Until I Found You reminds me of Maybe in Another Life, but I feel like too many of these plot points happen too far into the book to say anything and be really specific with it. But there are actions that happen from one of our male characters that just gave me the Until I Found You feeling. Basically, if you know, you know. This book very much gives the feelings of, once I have you, I won't let you go. Make of that what you will. I really, really loved this book. This is one of my favorites. One of the books that got me into reading romance type stories. But yeah, if you like the vibes of Until I Found You by Stephen Sanchez, I would recommend reading Maybe in Another Life. Then we have Somewhere Only We Know by Keen. And this song gives me a very nostalgic feeling, a very bittersweet type story. It's a song about wanting to mend a relationship, and so very easily, very obviously, my recommendation is Happy Place by Emily Henry. If you haven't heard of Happy Place, it's about this couple who broke up right before going on this friend group trip. Because their friends don't know that they broke up, they are pretending that they are still together, and there's a lot of references to a happy place. For our main character, her happy place was a lot of the memories that she had. While it was the house that they're staying in, the cabin that they're staying in, it was really referencing all of the memories that they had, all of the fun times that they had from college, from the previous summers, being in this place and spending time together. In Somewhere Only We Know, there's a line that says, "When are you gonna let me in?" And that reminds me of the miscommunication problems that our couple has, their inability to properly state what their issues are. It reminds me of how one of the characters has trouble opening up and tends to hide their problems and like kind of build walls around themselves. There's a line in the song that says, "Talk about it somewhere only we know," and that somewhere is obviously the happy place. It's the memories, the nostalgia, wanting to be back in better times. There's a line that says, "Could be the end of everything," and that reminded me of how this breakup, how they were worried about this breakup, and how they were worried about the effects that the breakup would have on their friend group and how it could change their friend group dynamics. So if you're looking for that bittersweet feeling, a story about mending relationships, I would read Happy Place. The next song on my list is 1,000 Years by Christina Perri. This song is basically just, as you can kind of guess by the title, this is about loving somebody for a really long time, how you've loved them forever and you will continue to love them forever. It's basically like a fated love, and so that very much reminded me of Our Infinite Fate by Laura Stephen. I will disclaimer this with the relationship in here might have been one of the weakest parts, but Our Infinite Fates is the story about these two beings, these two people that are constantly reincarnated, and they are fated to always fall in love, to always find each other, but they will murder each other before they turn 18. 1,000 Years reminds me of this book, partially because this story takes place over hundreds of years, maybe even 1,000 years. The number of times that they reincarnate is a lot. In a lot of these lives, they are in love with each other. Not in all of them, but in some of these flashback lives that we get, flashback moments, we do see them fall in love, and those moments feel very romantic. There's a line in 1,000 Years that says, "I have died every day waiting for you," and that reminds me of some of the deaths in here. Some deaths are from pure love, some deaths are from pure hatred. This book is kind of all over the place. There's a line in 1,000 Years that says, "All along I believed I would find you," which again is reminiscent of the fact that they will always find each other. That feels like a movie quote that I can't place right now. While this wasn't my favorite book, there were moments and scenes in here that did feel extremely romantic to me and that I did really enjoy. And those moments specifically are what I'm thinking about when I think of 1,000 Years. Then the next song is Deathbed by Pao Fu. This is a song that is from this perspective of somebody dying. He's basically on his deathbed and he is telling his lover that he wishes he could be there for her. He wishes he could be that person for her, but unfortunately he won't be around for any of these moments, and that he still wants her to have those moments. He still wants her to live and love after him. And that reminds me of You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thao. If you've never heard of You've Reached Sam, this is a book about this girl named Julie, and she is dealing with the grief of her boyfriend Sam dying from, I think, a car accident. They are high school seniors. It's like right before graduation when Sam passes away. And right after Sam passes away, Julie calls Sam's phone number, trying to reach him, wanting to hear his voice, hear him on his voicemail or something along those lines. But instead, Sam picks up, and Julie realizes that she can still talk to Sam for some reason if she calls his phone number. So this book is full of like last little bits of grief, of dealing with it. You hear conversations between Julie and Sam that they wouldn't normally have gotten to have, and all of that is very reminiscent of Deathbed. So the next song is I Guess I'm in Love by Clinton Kane. I don't really know how to describe this song. I feel like this is about somebody who is realizing that they have fallen in love. They're thinking about all of the little things that they love about a person, but didn't realize until they started saying these things. I'm not really sure how to intro this song to you, so let's just move on to the book recommendation, which is Attached at the Hip by Christine Riccio. So I will say that the vibes of I Guess I'm in Love and Attached at the Hip are different. I Guess I'm in Love feels more serious. It feels more thoughtful, I guess, more pensive. Attached at the Hip is a lot more of an upbeat story. It's a lot more humorous. So I don't think vibes-wise the song and book really match that well, but there are a few quotes in the song that remind me of the couple in this book. I will say, again, minor spoilers in here. Maybe. I do think that most of these happen early on in the book. So one of the lines in I Guess I'm in Love is overthink the little things. And this is very reminiscent of our female main character. She is a chronic overthinker. She is incredibly anxious. And our male main character helps her get past that. He helps her stop thinking and just kind of go for it and just do things. And in return, she also tries to help him get past some of his mental barriers and just go for things in this book. There's a line in here that says, "Nervous when I look into your eyes," which also reminds me of this couple because there were multiple mentions about how when she looks into his eyes, she completely loses her train of thought. Her rambling thoughts just stop and she just gets very, not necessarily uncomfortable, but she just can't think. She freezes when she makes eye contact with the male main character. Then there are also lines in the song that says "worth years of heartbreak" and "everything I want but didn't find." This represents the female main character's journey before meeting the love interest in this. The female main character starts the book out in a long-term relationship for like 10 years. And pretty much everyone involved knows that she has never really felt in love with her long-term boyfriend. She's never fully connected with her long-term boyfriend. And so the years of heartbreak, the everything I want but didn't find, these are things that she got from her love interest that she didn't get out of this long-term relationship. So while the vibes of the song and book are drastically different, I do think that the quotes in the song can heavily relate to the main couple in Attached at the Hip. And honestly, I just really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a fun read. And I wanted to recommend it. The next song is "Man Who Can't Be Moved" by The Script. This is a song about a guy after a breakup. He desperately wants to be back with his girl, but he doesn't know where to find her. So he goes back to the spot where they met and decides to stay there in the hopes that she comes back and they'll meet each other again. This reminds me of One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. One Last Stop is a sapphic romance about two girls who meet on New York City subway. And our main character continuously goes back to this subway line, to this time and place, to meet with this girl in the hopes of running into her again. So there's some magical realism in here where the girl on the subway can't actually leave the train. She's somebody from the past, from the 1970s, who's gotten stuck in time for some reason, and she is trapped in the present day on this subway line. And so our main character goes back to this subway line all the time to spend time with her. They have their first date on this subway. They have their first many things on the subway, which but the fact that our main character, August, goes back to the same spot who constantly wants to be in the place where they met because of this girl who can't leave, that fully reminds me of Man Who Can't Be Moved. So the next one on the list is My Love Is Your Love by Whitney Houston. This is a song about somebody in love who is telling their partner that there is absolutely nothing that could break their love. Nothing can get in between them. They will always be together. Like, I am yours, you are mine. Unlike the rest of the recommendations so far, this is a fantasy, not a romance. Well, I guess it's a romantasy, but it is The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. This is the first book in the Iron Fae series. Our main couple in this is one of those relationships that will stand the test of time. I feel like in a lot of fantasy, romantasy stories, they have the main couple together and then break up and then together and then break up and then together and break up, and it feels repetitive. But in the Iron Fae series, the couple never questions their love for each other. There's just a lot of scenarios that get in the way of them physically being together. But the question of their love, of their choices, is always confirmed. So in My Love Is Your Love, there's a ton of examples of things that could potentially break up a couple. It's like World War III, homelessness, destruction, poverty. There's a line in here in the song that says, "It would take an eternity to break us." All of these feel very reminiscent of the different end of the world scenarios that our characters go through in the Iron Fae series. There's always a ton of conflict going on in the fantasy world. There's a lot of war. There are a ton of sacrifices that need to be made. There is a big like hero's quest journey that needs to be completed. All of those kinds of things. And despite all of these barriers to their relationship, they are constantly working for it. They never decide that it's too much work to be with each other. They always choose the option of trying to make it work and know that all they want is to be with each other and that they love each other. And so the strength of the relationship in My Love Is Your Love feels very similar to the strength of the relationship in the Iron Fae series. And I don't think that there is a couple that has been put to as many tests and is as strong as the couple in this series. The next song on my list is LOVE by Nat King Cole. LOVE is a very simple song. It's very simplistic. It repeats its chorus twice. I'm not really sure there was much else to the song other than like the main chorus. And so that feels like a very innocent love, a very simple love that gives me YA feelings, and therefore Fake Skating by Lynn Painter is my recommendation. I will say I do think that most of Lynn Painter's YA romance novels could probably fit under this, but Fake Skating is the one that I thought of, probably because this is the most recent YA Lynn Painter that I've read. In LOVE, there are quotes that say, "Way you look at me, the only one I see," and those reminded me of the number of times in this book that our main character would look at their love interest and could not see anything else. It was written in there specifically that the rest of the world would slip away. They would stop hearing other people, stop seeing other people. They didn't notice other people were around when they looked at their love interest. This entire book had a kind of innocent, nostalgic love feeling to it. It is a fake dating book with a little bit of frenemies. So the male character did not really like the female character in some of this book. But despite that, I think that this book had a very innocent feeling love, a very nostalgic honeymoon stage, high school, youthful love in it. So LOVE being a very simple song, a very innocent, basic, no complications to this love song, it felt like it matched Fake Skating very well. And then the final song, I could not make this video without including this song. It is, of course, I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. I'm warning you right now that if you have not read the Binding 13 series, this is going to have spoilers. This is gonna have spoilers because the book I'm specifically referencing for I Will Always Love You is Releasing 10, which is book 6 in the Binding 13 series. If you've never read the Binding 13 series, it is a series that follows a high school rugby friend group, and it follows the different couples in this friend group. So the first 2 books follow Johnny and Shannon. The next 2 books follow Joey and Aoife. Book 5 follows Gibbsy and Claire. And then book 6 follows Hugh and Lizzie. In this book, we follow Hugh and Lizzie's relationship, both platonic and romantic, from the start of them meeting at like age 5 up until high school. This book has so many feels in it, and I don't really want to call out anything too specifically in this book, just because I do think you need to experience these for yourself. But I Will Always Love You as a song is a breakup song. While people have this as one of the most romantic songs of all time, it's a breakup song. The song is a bittersweet breakup. It's about these two people who have worked together. I think technically when Dolly Parton wrote it, it was about someone she worked with rather than a like significant other. But it's about two people who have been together for a while and know that they still love each other and that they still care for each other, but need to part ways. And that is basically releasing 10. This is somewhat of a spoiler because if you read Binding 13, you know that during high school, Hugh and Lizzie are not together. You kind of already know going into this book that they don't end up together. But the process of how they get there and the story of their relationship is just so heartbreaking. If there was any couple in this series that I believed actually loved each other, it is Hugh and Lizzie. And reading their breakup, reading the reasoning and them coming to terms with the fact that they can't and shouldn't be together was so gut-wrenching. Oh my gosh, you can kind of hear it in my voice. It's kind of getting to me again. Yeah, I think that if there was any couple I have ever read in my life that represents I Will Always Love You, it is Hugh and Lizzie. Please check your trigger warnings before going into the series, before going into this book especially. It's dark, it's heavy, it's a lot. Okay, that was everything that I had on my list. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below if you guys have a song to book recommendation. Comment that down below. If you guys want to see more videos like this, want me to do it again, but outside of the romance genre, let me know that too. Other than that, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!